So Mark, we're here at Oil and Money, almost inside the citadel of the oil and gas industry. There was an important speech yesterday by the CEO of BP where, climate actually featured quite significantly. But you also made some important points on the panel today. So what would you say? What are your three key points?
Well, I think first in response to the argument that has been voiced here at this conference by some people in the oil industry about the energy transition taking decades to play out. That is true, but in the sense of whether that matters or not to investors, it's actually irrelevant, because what matters to investors is how quickly future change is priced into assets today. And I think that's what many people in the oil and gas industry who talk about the transition taking decades and therefore there is plenty of time to adapt business models are failing to capture. And so the point I made this morning on the panel was that in actual fact, we've already seen this play out in the power industry in Europe over the last 10 years, whereby assets were built on the assumption that growth was going to continue as usual, and electricity demand in Europe actually peaked in 2007.
Okay.
And the share prices of the European utilities peaked late 2007, early 2008, and have gone down very dramatically since. In the case of the German utilities, they fell 85%
Wow.
peak to trough. Now, I'm not suggesting the oil and gas industry is about to face that, but what we are arguing very strongly within Carbon Tracker, and obviously we published a report 3 weeks ago by my colleague Kingsmill Bond, talking about the peak being much nearer than most people realise, and it's a simple matter of extrapolating the current trends. It's not a complicated scientific equation that you need to look at. You just need to look at the rate of growth of renewable electricity supply coming onto the system, which now is the main source of incremental supply on the system, and probably within 5 years, if not sooner, will represent 100% of incremental supply. That will then happen for energy as a whole, because electricity is running at a faster rate than energy in terms of demand, and therefore when incremental energy demand is accounted for 100% by new renewables, the peak has arrived for fossil fuels, and what we're saying is that's going to happen much sooner than most.
And that's when the markets will reprice it.
Yeah, if not before.
Well, I think we better wrap up, because they're literally clearing up around us. So it's the end of Oil and Money 2018.
Great,
Great, Mark.
thanks.